What is a movie ending that makes you cry, no matter how many times you've watched it before? Homeward Bound. He can't see without his glasses, and I sob. Eta. The name of the movie is My Girl, 1991. Coco. My grandfather had dementia and couldn't remember me the last time he saw me, but showed me their house of my grandparents where I basically grew up in, like I was a visitor. I miss him so much. My oh papa. All dogs go to heaven. I think I might even cry more the older I get. Voila. The way it zooms out with the a whole life long, every damn time. Meet the Robinsons. That end song Little Wonders by Rob Thomas brings me to tears. The last few pages are for you, Sam. Saving Private Ryan. Every time I see this movie I cry. Edit. Thank you everyone for the awards and upvotes. I never knew how many people also cried or teared up while watching this movie. I also want to say that if you know someone who served in World War II, go up and thank them or hug them. Just do something to acknowledge what they went through. Especially with Veterans Day just a few days away. Hatchie, A Dog's Tale. I bawl from about halfway until the end. Dunno why, but every time I watch the ending to Forrest Gump I burst into tears. The musicians' scenes from Titanic. Went to check the melody they played when the ship was sinking. I thought, this is ridiculous, why movies have to be so dramatic. Then the scene continued and there I was, crying as if I'd never before watched that movie. Life is beautiful. Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind every single time. Again, not the end of a movie. But Brooks Was Here from The Shawshank Redemption springs to mind as a recent watch. I was watching with my partner and she started bawling. I had to laugh to cover my own tears at how sad it is. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Dead Poets Society. The Land Before Time. When I first saw it as a kid, it was the first time that I realized that my parents could die. That thought had never even really occurred to me at that point. Even now as an adult. The scene. https u2.be/8rdrabfitch4, where he thinks he sees her but it's just his shadow and the narrator says, then Littlefoot knew for certain he was alone, still gets to me every single time. I'm sure that movie will make me cry even more after my mom passes because one of her nicknames for me is Littlefoot. Not exactly the end, but fried green tomatoes when Ruth dies. The Grand Budapest Hotel. The revelation that their shared happiness was short-lived. The reminder that happy endings don't always last. And that the old world the hotel represented had already long vanished in the darkness of war. The way the plot's nesting doll framing device pulls back out to the present. A young woman reading about it in a snowy graveyard. Just guts me every time. Interstellar. When Murph answers, because my dad promised me. The Iron Giant. You stay, I go. No following, goddamn. Kubo and the Two Strings. The whole climax of that movie is emotionally devastating, but the final scene with the villagers, and then the lanterns on the water transitioning into the Regina Spektor version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps, that movie is so god damn good. Mr. Holland's opus. The way his former students all come back to pay tribute to him and perform the song he'd spent his entire career composing. It always hits me in the feels. Not a movie but David Tennant's death scene as the Doctor. Edit. Thank you all for the rewards. Now if you'll excuse me, I must return to my onions. T. Up. Not the end. But every time I watch Steel Magnolias, I lose it at the scene in the cemetery. I don't cry when Julia Roberts dies. I cry when Sally Fields loses it over Julia Roberts dying. It's a Wonderful Life. Pan's Labyrinth. I ugly cry every time. Not a movie, but the end of Tales of Ba Sing Se from ATLA gets me every time. Rutger Hauer, Blade Runner. Glory. The last time I watched it I had to make a promise to myself to never watch it again for my emotional well-being. Stepmom with Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts. Gets me every time. Apollo 13. Every darn time. Fuck you Ron Howard and Tom Hanks. I Am Sam. It's a heartwarming movie about a 40-year-old guy with mental disabilities and has the mental capacity of a 7-year-old. He has a kid with a lady who leaves him, making him raise a little girl on his own. Child Protective Services takes the daughter away, and Sam, the 40-year-old guy, with the help of a lawyer, try to get back custody of his child. It is so freaking beautiful. It gets me every time. A Knight's Tale is actually one of the few that really hit me. When he tells his father that he found his stars, and then when the prince, or prince-to-be, knights him. God, those two moments really get me right in the heart. Les Miserables. When Fantine and the fucking priest start singing, I lose it. Leon. The Professional. The extended edition. The normal one cuts too many scenes important to the story. The ending of Edward Scissorhands always makes me cry because he ends up alone loudly crying. You know, maybe reading this thread while sleep-deprived and basically teetering on the edge of an emotional breakdown wasn't the best idea. Jojo Rabbit. It might be the most perfect ending to any movie. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. But Onward was the most recent one. What a beautiful, clever ending. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 though using Cat Stevens is cheating. A Walk to Remember. The last scene of La La Land does it to me every time. The Fox and the Hound. It's always made me cry. Ever since I was a toddler and called it The Fox and the Pound. The scene where the old lady lets the fox free in the forest. Specifically. And I don't just tear up. I bawl my eyes out. Even thinking about it breaks my heart. Moana when she restores the heart of Te-Fiti. I cry every time. The Little Prince. I still maintain that it's one of the best animated movies of all time. And it's a Netflix special, so it's never going away as long as Netflix exists. The music is amazing as well. Hans Zimmer. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. After they got each other completely erased from each other's memory, they find each other again. God, I love that movie.